Hello everyone, Kentu Tiger with Bengali Engineering and Play. We are back in Space Engineers, continuing on with the Survival Series 2. We are also continuing on with the building of this behemoth and ridiculously large space station. So, I'm having trouble. The immortal words of RoboCop, I'm having trouble. My trouble, in this case, is just space engineers being space engineers. So I'm having a lot of trouble pasting, is really the truth of it. So this took actually quite a bit of time and frustration to get it to do what I needed it to do. And I'm finding, oddly enough, there's a lot of damage. And I'm not sure why there's a lot of damage, but there's a lot of damage. Like this. Don't know what this damage is all about. Don't know what caused the damage. There is absolutely nothing in this world but me and this stuff. So I'm really not sure what the damage is. So, having said that, I'm going to see if I can get this to be fixed. I don't know what other damage there is or why. So, go ahead and look here at no damage here, but these are all copy-paste from one another, so we have damage on every single one of these that's, ironically enough, identical damage. So one of the things I was doing was figuring out how am I going to name tunnels and maintain convention with the tunnels. Now, one of the things I built off screen was a reactor unit, a little reactor module here. The concept here, I think, or my idea behind the concept was I want the reactors out and away from everything. Now, that's not to say I want them to be particularly vulnerable, which technically they would be, but this station is pretty well armed. So for somebody to get up close to these reactors and kind of conceptualize trying to sabotage them, they're going to be within range of an awful lot of weapons. So I don't know that that's going to be a problem. Now, putting this on the end of a 15 block tunnel or a 25 block tunnel, I don't know if that really matters, but I'm just thinking, hey, it's a nuclear reactor. If it blew up, I would rather have it 25 blocks away from an occupied place or a potentially occupied place than a 15 blocks. So there's 10 extra blocks. I'll take the 10 extra blocks. So we'll continue on here and make sure everything, and it does indeed look like that's okay. This side is not okay, so we will fix this side as well. That one's okay, this one's not so okay. That's fixed, and then that's fixed. Alright. I should check down here and find out what's wrong. Components, nothing going. Alright, nothing there. Let's go ahead and check this just in case. That's okay, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. Alright. I thought I saw some damage on this guy as well. What can I see? Oh, that's the station location. That was my ideal station location, and I kind of copied away from that. Okay, so this was the first tunnel that I attached. Now, one of the challenges is the direction of the tunnel, the A side, the B side, is kind of arbitrary. And it's arbitrary because I have 3 different colored items. I'm going to have to spin this tunnel to connect on to the junction. So I'm working from my inside out. One of the other problems I noticed is that depending on which side this is, I'm going to have to recreate, which is really to say change the color configuration on one of these other landing pads. So that's going to just take some time. But I wanted to start dedicating a little bit of time to getting the tunnels put on. So this should be, yes, tunnel 4. So what I've decided was I would designate which tunnel it is, and then tack, and then the tunnel length. So for example, this one, if we see, so here's my LCD. This is airlock 4. Okay, so this would logically be tunnel 4. So in this case, it is 4 tack 15. So that's my designator for this particular tunnel. Why 15? Because this is a 15 block long tunnel. So turn this off. So all of these where they say tunnel 1, which was kind of a placeholder, is now going to be 4 tack 15. And the reason, again, 4 tack 15, it is tunnel 4 that's a 15 block. So we could have a tunnel 425, which actually is tunnel number 4, but is a 25 block tunnel. So it's the designator between the two sizes, which is then 15 and 25, and which tunnel it happens to be. So the tunnel meaning end to end. So I could have tunnel 815 attached onto the other side of tunnel 415. So independent tunnels wherever we have an airlock. So going through and renaming this all the way through, C, Control V, Control V, Control V. So even though this is a little bit tedious in having to do all this, it is it makes my OCD happy, which is really to say it keeps me all coordinated. I like everything to be coordinated, and I know I joke a lot about OCD, and for those who are truly OCD, this is no slight intended towards you. It's just this is my version of OCD. Me taking over, I don't know what it was on this particularly that was not working quite right, but me. Okay, so one of the things I have to do now, I know this is tunnel 4. In this case, hello. Okay, and see, this is one of the reasons I say building the station is going to be impossible. Mostly because there's so much in this particular world that is going to make this absolutely and completely impossible. All right. So here's where the frustration starts. So this is positioned where it is. It is all ownership of me. I need to put the reticle on the block that I want. So this is positioned where it needs to be, which is to say my red is going to line up with my red. So this is the position. And there's two problems because these grids interact and then they change the way things flip, and they don't allow things to flip and all this sort of thing. So it's really random chance. And why the hell a game is random chance for pasting stuff in the world, but I don't know, the developers don't know how to make something work right is really the only thing I can think. This problem has been ongoing for actually for as long as I've been playing the game. So it's one more thing where I really don't believe the developers actually play the game. So Control X. So here's where the frustration begins. Control X, Control V will paste this right back in the world, and you can see this is already kind of messed up. So this is page up, which you can see is just alternating back and forth. Now we've changed. This is still page up. Still page up. Okay. Page up, which is just bouncing back and forth. Bouncing back and forth between two. This is insert. This is delete, which you can see really doesn't actually transition anywhere. All right, I'm gonna paste that. I need to move this out of the way because, whoa. So we'll just move that way the hell out of the way, and then we will once again get onto this particular block the direction that we want it. So I'm putting the reticle on that particular block because that's the one I want. Control X, delete. I'm going to rotate myself back around, get myself above where I want to be. V. So this is page up. You can see it's just going back and forth. It's not actually pasting the direction. So this one rotates all the way around, but when I try to, so this is delete, which is not rotating at all. Now randomly it's rotating. I haven't moved the mouse. I haven't done anything. So here's where the frustration begins, is just the trying to get this to rotate around in the direction that you want it to go. So this is upside down, and of course we flip back. Page up, which doesn't actually shift. Now it shifts to a random direction. Hence why I say frustrating as fuck. There we go. Finally pasted in the right direction, and half the time it will actually change back on its own, like I said. So will not paste in the direction I want it to paste. Hey, look at that. Pasted in. So, the frustration being that it is, so it's green, it appears to be where I want it. So if I drop down, that's the connection point. So, there it is. 5 minutes to paste one object into the world. Not too bad, huh? Alright. So let's, we'll go over and, whew! And only 15 swear words out of that. Paste in the random direction. So with this here, we'll go in, we will designate this is the opposite of 4, which means this has to be a 2. So, the first thing we do is turn all the hidden blocks on. We're going to, not sure what is not set to me, but we won't worry about that. So, this has a designator of 2TAC15. Control C, and we will rename all of this to to tack 15. And then we start the frustration all over again. Alright, so all renamed, so the tunnel designators are what they are. And then close. So no LCD on this end because don't know what happened to it. We will delete the LCDs here and here. So this is airlock 2. So right now the positioning of this tunnel is exactly where we want it. We have moved, I think, everything out of the way. So we will go ahead and do a Control X and then paste back in the world. Oh my goodness! It is actually right here. That is a shocker. And we are lined up and paste. Wow. Wow. That is absolutely amazing. So 3 of the 4 tunnels. So what I'm going to do here is actually delete this tunnel, and there's a reason for that. What I want to do is change how this tunnel is. So this tunnel was designed for planetary with this support mechanism in here. So what I want to do is I wanted to make sure, and of course we have this random damage here that I have no idea where it came from. There's nothing in this world. Absolutely nothing in this world. So I don't know how this could have been damaged. There's no ships here that could run into it. Absolutely nothing. So I don't know what the hell was going on there. Okay, so what I really want to do, so even besides changing designators here, sorry, I'm going to get just a hair sidetracked. There's one of the things I noticed, my colors are off, and I know, yes, jump to a random thing. So I'm not sure if I should have everything be in black or not, but for whatever reason, these pieces... Oh, darn. Oh, I know why those were that. Alright, 2. Huh, this actually took, oddly, quite a bit of damage apparently. Because there's actually pieces missing. Darn. Alright. These are supposed to be black all the way down the side. Let me go to number 9 and figure out what the windows here are supposed to be. This side, which does not appear to to have been damaged. Okay. But because... So this side does not appear to have been damaged. And this does not appear to be damaged. So we have random damage. It just makes me wonder what the heck is going on. And this one, same thing. It is not damaged when in fact the others, these are all copy paste from one another. All of them. I had one of them and here it is. So anyway, strange. Space engineers being space engineers. Alright. Okay, so this is... What is this? This should be tunnel 4. But let us go ahead and look just to make sure. Tunnel 3. Tunnel 3. 315. So, tunnel 315 is going to go to storage, and this is the A side. So, what do we call this thing? Storage 1. Okay, I own everything, which is good, and I guess storage 1. Yeah, storage 1 is fine, because it is. Storage 1. Here's the challenge. Pasting. Pasting is going to be a bear. So the red here in this case is on this side. Here's what I want to do. I'm going to make this a little easier. Alright. The question is, how far does this go up? 1, 2, and part of 3. Right? Part of 3. 1, 2, part of 3. And hey, we see damage. I really have no idea how the damage can happen. Random damage. Just random. That is so weird. Okay. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So, what do we need here? We're going to go ahead and change this to this hideous color. 1, 2, and 3. At the same time, just to make this absolutely clear which side is going where, I'm going to delete that one and paste this block in. Okay, that way I know absolutely where this thing is supposed to go, because I can't see the colors anymore with this particular piece. So this particular piece is going to paste onto the other piece down there. So Control X. Yes. All right. And here we go. Here we go. All right. Control V. Paste it into the world. We're going to try and rotate. Of course not. Oh. Okay, now this is either going to work out really, really well or be hideously catastrophic. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna pull this over here. We're going to paste. We're going to C. We're going to flip that forward, and then we're going to attempt again. And the reason why is I have now committed that particular tunnel to this whole thing. So 1, 2, 3, paste, commit. Alright, so I either got my measurements all correct, which it looks like I did. Wow. Alright. So, whew. And then that one there, and we are now put this new one in. And put this back. Wow. That is just so amazing that that worked. Alright. And we put down the one plate to match the others. Alright, that was absolutely amazing. Was not expecting that even slightly to go on there quite so easily. And I did indeed line them up correctly, which is, wow, imagine that. So one of the things I did down here as I was buckling all these pieces together, bolting all these pieces together, I started to run out of power, really severely run out of power. So I don't know entirely why that was the case. So I put a Kenti reactor down here. The Kenti reactor, let's go ahead just for fun, see what kind of resources that takes. That's a 6. So yeah. So you can see, so this puts 100 gigawatts onto a grid. So it is hideously overpowered, no question there, but it also requires a hideous amount of stuff to build it. Okay, so there it is. So I needed power, so until I can figure out exactly how things are supposed to work, then especially before I get this guy online, which I want to put that on the other side of this 25 tunnel. So here's what I want to do here is I wanted to put kind of this transitionary type I don't know, structurally this makes sense, and maybe I should just leave it as is and not mess with things. My only problem is one side of this. How is that even possible? Oh, okay, it's not. It's just shadows being shadows. What do I think I'm going to do? I'm going to be... so... The windows actually are secured on both ends, so I can take this apart transition-wise. And here's what I'm going to do. Right now I am black. I am going to use a half armor block. And so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take that block out. We're going to take that block out. And we're going to put a half block there, which actually kind of opens up that area, which is kind of what I want. I wish there was some way to open that portion up, but I really don't have any way to do it. So 7-1, we'll spin this back around and put our plate back on. Alright, I think overall I can live with that, other than the two things on the end here. So we're gonna take this off. Let me go ahead and so we're gonna take that piece off. We'll go ahead and take those off as well. I really, these don't really serve any purpose. I was thinking, you know, structural support, but they really don't serve any purpose. Oh, first things first. Let's go ahead and light armor block, half block. Okay, so out, one more, and then we bring the light armor block back to here. 7. Yeah, okay, we'll do that. We'll have to come back anyway. So 3 and 4 is that we have to change colors. Of course, press OK. Nothing more important than pressing OK. So put that in there. Those do not go green. And then we go back to 7-2 for my plate. Change back over to black. And put this down, oriented correctly, and then finish. Alright, so this is not perfect. I do like the kind of added structural in the middle. Kind of unnecessary, obviously, this is Space Engineers, but hey, that did open that up just a little bit, which is good. Okay, now, one of the things that okay, this is going to be an afterthought. So we'll do this one at a time. 8. We'll go ahead and nope, we're gonna leave them orange in this case. So I'm gonna okay. So alright, so what I had intended to do, and in fact forgot to do, is put an oxygen tank in. So the oxygen tank, back to 7 and 2, change colors to the black, and then put pieces back on. Now, having done that, we now have an oxygen tank, and I want to designate this oxygen tank. So K, this is tunnel 4, so this should be oxygen tank tunnel, whoa, let's turn all this off. So we should have oxygen tank 8, in this case, this will be tank oxygen tunnel 4. Okay, because there's only one of them. We're going to do a Control C to put that in. In this case, I'm going to go back in. I'm going to indeed turn the show hidden blocks back on. And yes. Now, turn this off. We have the oxygen tank, which is right here. Tanks, oxygen. Save. We are turning them off on the toolbar, turning it off in inventory and off in there. So we have just these couple things. Antenna LCD panel 1, which I have no idea where that is, but we'll find it. Okay. To the next tank, which is going to be right here.
Energy
So,
low.
number 8, we'll pull up our tank again. We're going to select Tiger Orange. We're going to orient this. Of course, why would it move in the same way consistently? We cannot have that. And boom. And back to black. Control bar 7. And then... Alright. Now, this one is going to be just a little more challenging to get to because I don't have anything. I have to go out here. Oh, this is getting really laggy. Alright, so that should have been, I think, tunnel 2. So because the other one was tunnel 3 and I'm going counterclockwise in this case, so this should be tank, oxygen, oh, tunnel 4, so this will be tunnel 3. Oxygen, tunnel 3. I hope. Otherwise, I just named it wrong. So this should be me. Yes. Let's go ahead and turn off. Yes, indeed. Okay, that was the only piece. Out and back in. So now we will, whoops, turn that off. We will go down here, grab our tank, and then go into tank's oxygen control, left click, save, off on the toolbar, off on the inventory, hello, off on the inventory, and off in the terminal. And then that should have vanished. Yes, it did. Alright! To the next tunnel. So this should be tunnel 2. 8. And number 5 to select, change our color. And I think we changed that. Yep, we did. So delete, 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 and paste it in. Control 7 and 2. Change our color back to black stripey. Change the orientation here and paste, 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 paste. Then again, this should be tunnel 2, but let's go ahead and verify that. Okay, yes it is tunnel 2. So we'll go down to the bottom here. We should see oxygen tank. We will go ahead and transfer that to me. We will try to transfer that to me, but because of lag. And then we will change the name. And tunnel 2. Tank tunnel 2. Turned it off. Control A, we see it stays the same. So we can turn that back off again. Select oxygen tank tunnel 2, tanks oxygen control, left click, and save. Then off, off, and off. And finally, our last tunnel, which is not yet built. And we're actually going to cheat just a little bit. This tunnel, because it's so long, we're actually going to put 2 in. So I could have saved myself and thought ahead and done this correctly. There you go. How do you like my grammar? Control 8. I think that's on number 5. Hello. Number 5. Let us select. Lag. That's why this is so frustrating when it gets to this point. Oxygen. So we're going to spin so the O is center line. There's that one. And we're going to do that and that, including that and that. So the O center line here. We're going to flip the O center line here. Alright, so that's 1 and 2, and I'm not going to worry about which one is designated what, because it just doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. P, change colors back to black for the tiger stripey part. And 1, 2, 3, and 4, which then seals this thing back up. Alright, we're going to go to the end here. So we'll transfer all of this to me. This is tunnel 125. And the reason it's tunnel 1 is because it's actually coming off of airlock 1 off the junction. So in this case, what we want to do is go ahead and name this. This is tunnel 1, and this is A. Why is it A? Because it was the first one in the list. B, 1, B. All right, so tunnel 1, which is really, oops, I screwed up. It's tunnel 125A and tunnel 125B. So TAC 25. So, having said that, we'll go ahead and carry on with C, and we will go ahead and change all of these designators, which is really there we go. Just have to get the cursor in the right place. This definitely has a whole lot more batteries than a lot of the other things. This has 6 batteries than some of the other tunnels. Well, maybe not. Control V, this is already done, but we do that, and then we do that. And what I will probably have to do is come back through and check how the sliding doors are actually set up. So one of the things I want to do is, Control A showed me that this is, everything is still a me. This does not actually have a tank group, so this is tanks, oxygen, create, off, off, off. Okay, so we literally have created that group, so it will merge in when we join this thing onto the universe. Okay, the panel is probably on the other end here. Yep, right there it is. So now that we have fixed everything as we wanted it, we're going to go ahead and Control C, and then off. We're going to, this is the 25 block long V2. We're going to replace from clipboard. Yes. Cancel. We're going to V once again, bring this thing out, way out here, and then paste it into the world again. And next up, so this is 1, tunnel 1, This is the first use of the big tunnel here. We're going to delete both of these dummy LCDs. Oh, that was a little weird. Laggy. Okay, this thing is going to be in the way, so X, let's just put it up there. Get it out of our way. That, I think, is far enough away that it may or may not be an issue. All right, Control X. Whew. Okay. Let's see how it goes. Wow. Orbit right around. Let's see what happens. I am green. Let me verify that I am red on red. Red, green, blue. Yes, indeed. Okay, commit. And paste it. Damn.
No,
damn. I'm impressed. I is impressed. Okay, we're gonna try. This is a cut, paste. Make sure my colors are all lined up, which they appear to be, and commit. Woohoo! Paste it in. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. All right. This tunnel is the next tunnel over. We need to redesignate. Wow, lag. So this is tunnel 125, which actually we're going to change to 225. Whoops. The tediousness of changing names. So even though I changed the name, these are still in the group, so the group will not be affected by that because the object is still there. Now if you delete objects that are in a group, it just removes them from the group. If you delete all the objects in a group, the group deletes. Okay, the group vanishes. So just one of those things to keep in mind. So click on something, Control A, we see that this says me still, which means everything is owned by me, which is exactly what I want. Okay, so we have to ultimately delete this thing. So that's gone. That's that thing. There isn't one on this. Okay, so now we are going to attempt to paste this guy onto the reactor. So Control X. Quick save. Control V. Oh my goodness, it pasted in exactly in the right direction. Maybe. And this is too good to be true. Paste and commit. Done. And lag. All right. So not bad. Okay, I don't see that I need any more storage. I think storage is there. So what we do need is a module that will we need a module that can do assembly. So we have storage here. So we really need a module that will do assembly, and it's do I create it so it just bolts right up against this one, or do we gut this one and actually have, so we've already done our refineries, so we really don't need a huge module by any means. So do we want to do a tunnel in between just because, or how do we want to do it? So that's really the question. Let me see where we're at. So one of these, one of the things is backwards. This one is going to be backwards. So let's go over here. I think they might both be backwards. Yep, they're both backwards. So to put this on, I will have to reverse. I will have to reverse both the colors, which isn't a bad thing. So what I'll do is reverse. We're going to delete this one. So this was just kind of a placeholder. So we'll go ahead and delete that one because I need to reverse both. What I am going to do, XV, is actually flip this around so it's kind of facing in the right direction. I'm going to bring it back over here, even though it probably will not transition well. Okay, it made a liar out of me again. So ultimately I have to reverse these, just like we reversed on the other one. So what that means is that I need to strip off all of the plating so I can actually see what's going on here. We will strip all of this, so again we can see what we're doing here. That also means we have to strip everything off this side. We have to remove this medical bay because we're no longer going to be able to use that. So click, 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 bing, 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 and we'll go ahead and remove that. Those two are fine. Nothing was over here because we removed that. So ultimately, all right. So the first thing that we have to do is swap the names. Okay, actually, I'm curious. We're going to test. We're going to do some testing. So if we look at, so this is pull in. Oops. Oh, moving too fast. We have pull in, supply, and this should be fuelize, which it is. So which corresponds to red, green, and blue, right? Okay, so we're going to change the names, and what I want to do is see if the names change automatically, or if I have to go through and repaste. So this is, let me go ahead and do this here. So this is called now going to be fuel, ice, and we're going to put a star in there because I want to this one, which is now pull in. All right, so that just helps keep me squared, and then we can remove that. Okay, so I've changed the names. I'll change the colors shortly. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll change the colors. P. So this one becomes blue, and then we change color over to crimson, and change to here. All right, now here's the test. We look and see what happened. So we have land pad pull in, switch lock for supply, and fuel ice. So it did not transition. So we are fuel ice. We're backwards now. Okay, so okay. Fuel ice is first, which goes there, switch lock. Supply is the middle one, so switch lock, and then pull in is here, which is switch lock. Alright, so that should have fixed everything. Now, I'm not going to change the name on this yet. Well, yeah, we will. We will.
No energy.
So, let me start up here. We are, I don't know what color we are. We are currently red, which is exactly what we need, because this side is now red. So there's red, 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 and red. And we'll have to swap to the bottom. So let's go ahead and change to blue while we're up top. So I'm going to delete that one so I can recolor, and then we'll swap to the bottom. In this case, it's red, 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 and that guy, and then, oops, then transition over to the red, which was once blue, so now red, 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 red. Alright, and we have effectively changed our color scheme to match where it's going in. So we can see here red, green, and blue. So now we're red, green, and blue. So this should bolt right up. So we do one more thing, change color to our tiger orange again. We get our plate down here, which is just a protective mechanism, and go all the way across, and we're going to go out to there. Then we change colors once again to black, and we are going to delete that one. Delete. Delete. Then we are cross right there. In this case, we put our block. There we go. Oh darn! Spun it all the way around. 1, 2, 3. There we go. That in there. And finally, we go back to 7, 2. In this case, we need a catwalk side spin just so we are matching the other side, and then catwalk plate, which will spin over and then cut here. There it is. Alright, so now all we have left is to rename this thing, and I am exactly an hour, so I'm going to go a few minutes over. I apologize for that. Very few minutes over. We've got 2 tasks that we have to do. We have to change the designator. So let's go ahead and look behind us and see what we got here. So what tunnel is this? I think this is tunnel 4. Yes, it is tunnel 4. Does that matter? I don't know that it does. So we could actually leave this as landing pad A. It wouldn't matter even in the slightest. So let's go ahead and we will do a copy. Actually, I want to do one more thing before I wander away from this. Is a K. We will do a click, control. Yep. Me. Alright. So we just make sure that we have that there before I do a control C. Then we do an F10. This is landing pad. Okay. So station landing pad we are going to replace with clipboard. There it is. Cancel. Alright, we're going to zoom over to this side. We're going to V, which will paste this guy in. We're going to attempt to spin in the correct direction. Of course not. Why would it do that?
No energy.
There we are. Alright, so that one is going to be approximately there. And we'll have to change the designator on there. So this is landing pad A. And what we're going to do here is remove this. So 0. And we're actually going to come over to this side and we're going to change this thing out. So I should have done this prior. In fact, we will, because I'm going to recopy this. So this is LCD panel. Land pad A. Okay. This is it's arbitrary, but anyway. Okay. Redo that because that thing needed to be transferred over to me. And let's go back down to this. In this case, it's turn on. Let's go ahead and change this over to approximately 3. Then edit text. So this is landing pad A. Okay, and we're going to do one other thing. Whoa. One other thing here, which is change to center. Landing pad A. Okay. Do okay. Let's see what this looks like at a 5. Landing pad A. Let's go ahead and go over here. We will do a control X on that guy. We will do a control C. Do an F10. Roll down here to our landing pad. Replace with clipboard yet again. And then control C. over here and see if we can get this to, wow, go somewhat in the direction that we want it to go. And paste it in the world. Alright, so all that is left is to paste these guys. But that'll be for next time. So this is Kenty Tiger signing off. Thank you for watching, and we will catch you next time.